All right, there we go. I started the broadcast software and this computer crashed. That was beautiful. I guess at least it crashed now, not during the show, right? Welcome everybody. Andrew, Don, Gayton, Dan, Serge, Kevin, Craig, Dan, David. David, how you doing, my man? How we doing? You've been kind of quiet. And how's Lorraine doing? She on the after her incident, you got pretty quiet. Just checking in, making sure she's okay. And Terry, Arturo, Diane, Mary, B, Jim, Mad, Mark, Robert, Jeff, S. Kohler, Frank, Darren. How's things up there in the turning Great White North up there, Darren? Mark, Hugh, Carlene. Oh, chat skipped. Let's see, where was I? There it is. John, Pierre, Laura, Cliff, Jason, Kimberly, my favorite subscriber, Ralph. Welcome everybody. Rigetti spaghetti, as chat calls it. Welcome everybody. Welcome. So let me try to get my. Like I said, everything crashed just a minute ago, so I'm trying to get my collective crap back. I'm sitting here starting apps as I. takes a village to run the show. Anyway, I'm just here by myself, so I had no. I don't know. I just thing crashed. Hopefully, I'm centered on the screen and everything looks okay. I bumped the camera while I was trying to reboot the computer. Oh, move back to Colorado. There you go. There we go. Well, anybody notice that they basically did away with the hemp stuff in this government reopen bill? I don't know. It's I think people are going to be shocked, and there's going to be a bunch of younger people PO'd at what just happened. Taking all the CBD and all that, basically making it illegal. And it's going to be a crazy. It's going to be a crazy twist, I think. Let's see where. All right, cool. So my. All right, where's my AI tool? You may not care about the CBD stuff, but there's going to be a lot of people that are quite upset about it. So I'm just saying. Just saying. And other things, the senators basically making themselves immune to certain types of investigations. And I mean, there's some hanky bullshit going on. Would you expect anything less from the government? And hey, you better stock up there, David. So it's yeah, just take it off the. I mean, you can say what you want to. People should be able to do what they want. I mean, nobody. I mean, think about it. Well, I guess this is like supposedly this is stage one in putting marijuana regulation under the alcohol, tobacco, firearms, ATF, whatever their extra letters are. But do you really want the alcohol monopoly kind of dictating the ability to get weed? But then you look at, nobody goes out, drinks a bunch of weed, and then gets in bar fights and then wrecks into somebody and, kills people. I mean, the only thing you usually kill when you do a bunch of weed is a bag of Cheetos. So, I mean, Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about now the shutdown's over. You know, I've been trying to explain these government shutdowns to people, and I mean, trying to explain it to like a younger person. You'd be like, imagine you and your friends are in a treehouse. Y'all want to keep playing, but you can't agree on the rules. So instead of compromising, you just decide to set the treehouse on fire. Right? That's kind of the way the government did, right? And kids look at me utterly confused and are like, that's stupid, but why would you burn down the treehouse? And you know what? I didn't have a good answer for him because it is stupid. And yet, for the past 43 days, that's basically what Washington did. Let's just burn down the treehouse. Playing with our multi-trillion-dollar treehouse called the U.S. economy. But fear not, the great national nightmare is now over. President Trump signing into law the bill to reopen, at least till January 30th. The historic record-breaking 43-day government shutdown has now come to a glorious end with a House vote 222 to 209 to reopen the government. Equity futures surged at first. The spice can flow. It's a reference to... I threw that in as a reference. The spice. Anyway, all's right with the world, right? And, of course, not. Don't be silly. Washington... This is Washington. Washington we're talking about. This isn't the ending. This is an intermission. This is a 79-day commercial break before the next episode of probably going to shut down because the debt ceiling, instead of as the world turns, it's as the debt ceiling turns, right? So what really happened? Well, after 14 failed votes and a whole lot of political bullshit, the Democrats, for lack of a better term, caved. And they folded like a cheap suit, right? They gave up on extending Affordable Care Act subsidies. But you know what? They had gutted the things that pay. If you look at when Obama set up the Affordable Care Act and what he did to pay for it by putting tax on fishing gear and all sorts of other weird, stupid stuff to pay for it. Essentially, under Biden, we gutted all those things that were paying for the healthcare. And it wasn't really affordable. I mean, supposedly it's keeping healthcare affordable for millions of Americans. And those subsidies are now set to expire at the end of the year. But hey, federal workers are back to work, right? They're going to get back pay. They're going to be made whole by next week, right in time for Thanksgiving. Now, is that made whole if you had to take out loans just to survive for the 43 days? Now, for savvy investors, this is where things get kind of interesting because while the politicians were busy playing their little games, we've actually got a whole new set of investment opportunities lined up for those who've been paying attention. So, first off, let's talk about the Treasury General Account, or TGA. Think about it as the government's checking account. For the past month and a half, it's been building up a massive pile of cash. Now that the government's shutdown's over, the Treasury is going to start spending that money. That means flood of liquidity potentially going to hit the market. Where do you think that money's going to go? Give you a little hint. It's not going into savings bonds, and it's not going to the little guy. Next, we have healthcare sector. The ACA subsidies, well, they're set to expire. That's a potential earthquake in the healthcare industry. Millions of people could see their premiums become unaffordable. Some companies probably going to get crushed. Others going to find a way to profit in this chaos. Classic case of volatility creating opportunity. This may create the pullback we needed in United Healthcare. Cigna, Home, Humana, others. Then there's the travel sector. Airlines and hotels have been getting hammered. Cruise lines have been getting hammered for a different reason. I can talk about that in a minute. The FAA was ordering flight reductions. Thousands of flights were being canceled. Travel spending dropped by an estimated $6 billion. But now, government's back open. Thanksgiving just around the corner. Can we have a V-shaped recovery, or is this going to have lingering effects on this sector? Proof is in the pudding. We'll see what happens. The market is pricing in bad news, which could mean maybe there's opportunity. I still believe in the Delta Airlines and United Airlines charts. American, not so much. And let's not forget about our friends. The defense sector, the shutdown kind of put a halt to security clearances, paused some intelligence gathering. But the big contracts, those have still been going. And now that the government's back in business, you can bet those invoices are going to be paid. The military-industrial complex is a well-oiled machine, and it takes more than a little government shutdown to put a damper on that. And then we have the data dump. For the past month, we've been flying, past 43 days, month and a half, we've been flying blind, right? The government's saying they're not going to release October numbers. That means they were bad. Not good. So here we go. Look into November. The CPI that's supposed to come out today is probably going to be delayed a few days, according to the powers that be. So we'll see. As soon as they can get those out, we might have a little bit of chaos. It might be a little bit like drinking from a fire hose as all these numbers come out and hit the market. Be prepared for a pullback is what I would say. For those of us prepared for the chaos, chance to separate the signal from the noise, maybe make some smart moves. So there you have it. Government shutdown's done. The game just getting started. So politicians have done their part, created the chaos. Now, let's look for opportunity. Remember, 79 days, we might shut down again. So this may not be over. Stay safe out there, my friends. And remember, they're burning down the treehouse. Let's bring the marshmallows. So anyway, how do we make money today? All trading involves a substantial risk of loss, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation of you buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. And remember, if you're thinking that somebody's going to take care of your money, like you're relying on Social Security, you're relying on the government, God forbid, to take care of you and your financial situation, you've got the wrong attitude. Nobody's looking out for you more than you. And if you're not looking out for you, you're thinking somebody else is going to take care of you. It's time to do some soul searching. Remember, if you hire anybody, they're just trying to make some of your money their money. That's the number one goal. The number one goal. I mean, I do this to support my family. That's my number one goal. And then secondary, I want to help people make some money out of the market. So should be interesting. That's what I gotta say here. Should be interesting. They've taken off CPI, PPI. Got Fed members speaking today. Looks like tomorrow's pretty benign too. Next week, Empire State Manufacturing, FOMC minutes. That should be interesting. Right. And I think CPI is supposed to be put out Tuesday. If I understood what they were talking about. Yeah, maybe Tuesday. I guess we'll see. Right? That's unemployment claims. We should get jobs reports sometime, whenever they feel like it. This could get interesting the next couple weeks. This is the main monthly expiration right here. This is when VIX expires. Last day to trade is Tuesday, expires Wednesday. I believe that's the way it works this year. I need to pull that up. Where? Let's see. Rearranged all my windows. I love it when that happens. Let's see. Discord upgraded. Cool. Well, let's see if I can find the expiration data quickly. Did I pin it to this channel? And it looks like the answer would be no, I did not. Roll back up in here and see if I can find it. So there's expirations. Like we normally have normal monthly options expirations, but with futures and VIX, there's different expirations you got to pay attention to. I know I have it in this. I have a little channel. It's like called Stuff for Videos. I know people like Goose have access to it since I made him an admin in Discord, so you could click on things if you wanted to help, do anything. Let's see. All right, cool. I don't seem to find the options expiration calendar for this year. Let's see. CBOE options. There we go. See if I can find it. There it is. Excuse me. So we're sitting here looking at September. This is on CBOE website right here. I just Googled it real quick instead of searching for it. We're in November. September, October, November. We are looking at the VIX options. The expiration is the 19th. The last day to trade AM settled equity options is the 20th. The last day to trade VIX is the 18th. So this is what brings chaos, is this expiration week. Let me copy, let me paste this over here. I can see if it'll pull this up correctly. Zoomer up, Buttercup. This is what causes chaos expiration week. So we get the normal monthly expiration right there. That's for most options. But we get VIX. The last day to trade VIX is here. So you get all this rolling activity that has to happen here and up to here for VIX. Then you kind of you leave these days in chaos because the next VIX that covers that, the next monthly VIX, is all the way out here. And there's typically, when you're trading big money, typically you trade like that. Now we do have a market holiday right there. And we got another one right there. And another one right there on the first. It's probably going to get interesting here. So we reopen here. Got all these expirations next week. End of the month right after that with a holiday in there. Typically this day, this is an early close day. Typically that day is boring. It's, this week, the last week here, it's usually treacherous. I have not had a great Thanksgiving trading week in the 20-something years I've been trading live money. It's usually blasé, and it's just a dangerous week. So as we head into that week, be careful. All right, be careful being aggressive. Be careful. You can lose some money that week. It's just been the way it works. Why? It's a weird week with the weird Thursday close and then a half day on Friday. And it just, I can't explain what it is, but it's always a funky week. So hopefully that helps everybody. I'll keep this calendar on this tab here for now. So, I guess they got it open before 10 a.m. So I'm a little surprised. That's, yesterday we had the vote and got it open, and Trump signed it into law at like 10:30. So there you go. And There you go. Easy money. Yeah, Gaten. I love that trade. So I've been putting beer money trade out, what I call the beer money trade, out on X. Most people don't seem to be interested in it, but I mean, it does take a lot of capital. It's capital intensive, but that doesn't mean that the risk is high. You know, what could you lose? You could lose $5,000 a contract. You could lose that. That's how much I'm risking. Risking the biscuit. I'm making, yesterday, made between $50 and $55 a contract. 55, depending on where I placed it. That was the trade right there. You can see I gained that much, lost that much, netted $300 in this account. And then I had another position that made $55 on top of that. So all in all, I made $355. That's a bunch of beer, right? For the beer money trade. So pretty nice. Look at the monthly here. Look at that. We're almost all time to $33,000. 33.5 year to date. Monthly. It's funny. Robinhood says I'm over 6,000 month to date. This says 590. You know, just the difference in how it's calculated. But $5,900. Probably over 6,000 tomorrow. If I do the beer money trade and it works out, there you go. Here we go. So you can think whatever you want to on weed. Most people I know, they don't do crap. Like, sure, there's some kids that are stupid. You know, there's kids that are stupid doing anything, but most people I know that do CBD or weed or whatever, they do that and then don't do anything. Don't go out, don't get in fights, don't, punch people out, don't. It's not like people do weed and they get angry. People drink alcohol and get angry all the time. I mean, watch OP Live, On Patrol Live. There's domestic stuff all the time. There's people, usually it involves alcohol. I can't think of a single instance where domestic violence involved weed on that show. I haven't seen that yet. So people just don't smoke a bunch of weed and then go get a fight. It's just not the way it happens. Netflix, get a little spicy, poking up through. If we can actually get through this little resistance here, it's kind of like this uptrend right there where we hit here, then we tap there. If we get through that line, we have this line, which is the downtrend of highs to go test. And then we get through that. We've got the 618 right there, and then we get through that. We could possibly reverse the trend here, but I'm still expecting this on the split. Still expecting that on the split. Despite initial positive momentum, looks like my sell the news of the government reopen might be coming to fruition. Thought we would get a little bit higher. So far, that didn't happen. Came up just a little shy where I thought we might get to. Where does that put us on the pullback? Still back down here. 100, 200 points down. Still likely where we're coming down to. Run on the low. Yeah. My target right now is right around here. That's what I think is going to happen. And then we rally from there up to 7,000 to 7,200 probably. When we get above 7,000, that's the time to start booking out stuff that you don't want to watch evaporate on you. So that's what I expect to happen. We'll see what happens. We'll see what actually happens. NASDAQ has that same kind of potential going here. Maybe a little bit higher high. Let's take these old targets off. Got those. So this area, probably where I think we're coming down to. And we'll see. Russell. I'm not quite sure here. This looks like it may go lower, but that would be what if we can find support here, it'd be good to bounce. But if we don't hold this, we're probably going lower low. Oil on the small time frame getting a little bounce. Yesterday was a big drop. It's starting to not look like a head and shoulder. So we'll see what cooks here. If we break below this low, I think that we are going down for the goal. GC getting it's just being a little uneasy here. A little bit of wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're right at that resistance. Right at that 4,200 resistance. I was really nervous about putting the gold rush trade on this week. Not gonna lie, everybody. Like, if you don't want to take a loss, you may want to reduce your risk on it. If you went in a big size, be careful. It's got this bad feeling about this. And I didn't really want to do the trade because we were sitting right at that fib line yesterday at the close. Just not. I mean, this is one of those where I zoom out and look at the chart. I'm like, why did you get me into this trade? Anyway, pattern's the pattern. The pattern can work out. We can get a little pop. We can come up to the 786. I'm not trying to say it's not going to work. Like, we could pop up to 4,300. That works out, and then we make a move down. It's just a cautionary pattern. It's potential. I mean, that's very much an A, B, and C can take us right back down, right over in here. This could bottom and not hit the roadmap line. Just, there's some, I mean, I feel like I would be not telling the truth if I sat here and said, everything is great because the gold rush trade fired off. I'm nervous as a cat in a hot plate that just got turned on. Right there. Bitcoin still looking soft. I still think we're going to push down. Ideal support. And both of these look like they're setting up for a flush out. NKD still in a correction here. Probably going to push down a little bit more. So we're seeing global liquidity support that too. So there we go. There you go. Yeah, I just I'm nervous about that gold trade. Straight up nervous. Now, if we get below 98.5 here, yeah, apparently dollar getting weaker again. The money printer back on. If we get below 98.5, probably heading on down. That's why I put that on there a couple days ago. Apple dumpling sitting here. If we can break higher than that prior high, target's up here at 284. It still looks like we're set for another drop, though. That still looks, to me, that looks like we're going to do that. Similar to the way Microsoft did. See how Microsoft did this plummet, push back up, plummet, and it doesn't seem to be done yet. So I want to see this push on down. right down in here. Another one I have a short on. Oh, beautiful. Come on. We're almost there. Almost to the promised land. I wonder if I cashed out on that yet. It was so close to cashing out yesterday. Let's see. Where did the login go? Since all the trade tabs are different than they were. Let's see. Oh, got out. Made 200% on that one. So right here's the fill. 9:30. Oh, right at the open. 9:30. I get in for $1, got out for $3. Pretty much. It looks like 310 was the fill right there. Bought a 30 put, sold a 23 put. We did that back over here. And money, baby. I like it when a trade like that works out. I don't go short very often. Jack was shorting shares during the Market Master show. And I thought we would do a kind of a head and shoulders thing, which we did. And now this coming on down. Probably going to make a low down in here. But I don't need the whole big move, right? I got 300 or 200% gain. I 3x my money, basically. Got 200% gain on the trade. That's good enough. I did it. I won. I killed it. Moving on. There's other opportunities. Being overly aggressive is how you lose money. If you have to be absolutely right, and you can think about it this way: is your desire to be right stronger, or is your desire to make money stronger? A lot of people just want to be right on a trade. They'll hold the trade and watch it go back against you. That's why I always talk about, like, have a plan, be conservative on your exit, and book the profit in GTFO. If you want to keep riding it, put something small risk, like $10 on something and buy a 10-cent option or something. If you want to keep riding that, don't risk like $1,000 on. I was pretty confident that pattern was going to play out. And it looked dangerous. I mean, that was straight up for a company that made no money. Shows green, but they actually, lost crap tons of money. Didn't really beat anything. Coming back down to the roadmap line. That was the classic pattern right there. So, back to NVIDIA. First move down. This has the pattern to continue down to the roadmap line. First move down, retrace, next move down. Absolutely beautiful correction. A, B, C. Tesla. Looks like we're going to go lower low. Now, the big question is, do we just tap a lower low? Then right there, right over here. Or do we have to go for the roadmap line? Down around 380. Now, there's somebody on X that I respect, Zach Maines. He has a couple different paths, and right now he thinks that, it's kind of like primary warning everybody is that Tesla needs a hit of 380 to go higher. So be careful out there. Be careful out there. If you're bullish, extra bullish Tesla, it may need a hit. If we can hold higher low here, the potential higher. The pattern is still active on the weekly chart. This pattern is still active. We busted above the 618. And the target is 550. But this can come all the way back down here before it comes up here, and it's still fine. Like, that's still the pattern. the pattern doesn't invalidate or doesn't prove to be wrong unless we get a move down to 214, $1 below this low right here. So keep it in mind what the pattern is. The pattern busts on a move down here. That means this can pull all the way back down to the low and then still go up and hit the target, and it still worked. That would be pretty devastating if you're in leverage positions, though. So just keep it in mind. Where's the eject point? I think we're still going to hold that area going up to 550, but it can come all the way back to the roadmap line on the weekly chart. We see that happen often enough on the daily chart where we run up, come right up to the prior high, stall out of gas, run back down, tap the weekly or tap the roadmap line, and then run on up to the target. That happens lots of times. And we got a double entry trigger and the target. So be careful on Tesla if you're super leveraged. I got a lot of, I'm not going to lie, it's my biggest position right now. Bigger than Mora. So it'd be a bummer if it decides to go down. So Netflix poking above the roadmap line. As I said, this is resistance. This is resistance right there. All right. Looking for stuff moving today. There were not many gainers. There were quite a bit of decliners. Look at that. Watch out for that to come back to the roadmap line. That's been straight up. See that chart? For years, just kind of bumbling along, and then we went straight up. Although this is, you know, a lot of demand in data centers, but that got way far away. Way far away. Didn't actually make it 3 standard deviations out, but it got way far away, and I would expect it to come back down 200-ish. Light coming back down a little bit. So we're seeing a little fluff come out of everything here. Disney reporting earnings. Getting hit a little bit. So this, when you zoom out and look at that, here's the high. Here's the initial low. That looks like an A. This looks like a B. 1, 2, 3. First move down, retrace. C. You can not believe it all you want. That's what that looks like. Till we break back above these highs. And then we got to get through the 6182. 2 is an also 618. There's a danger zone right in there. In fact, I'm going to put it on the chart. Look at that. Boom, shakalaka. Lily hit the target. I booked out my profits yesterday. You've been riding this one up. Time for caution is now. Can it go higher? Sure. Should you protect your profit? Absolutely. This can go back down to the roadmap line from here. That one worked out. That triggered right back here. I got long. Boom. 75% likely. Love it. I watched that one for weeks. Months, really. When it was ready, I jumped on it. Got it. That was one of the best opportunities, I thought, right there. See, I liked how it came up off this with gusto, paused, and then right to the target. Beautiful. Now watch out for a retrace. That trade is done. MDB still working this area right here. We did not make a lower low, so this still has potential to come all the way back up here and still go back down here. Still. I'm looking at the decliners list because usually there's more opportunities in the stuff that's pulling back. WDC, similar to STX, big potential downside. AMD, if we can break out through the high, still has 300, then 450 above that. Bloom Energy, probably coming back to the roadmap line. It's got a lot of fluff in it. Better Home and Financing is a dumpster fire. Did not touch that with your money. Reddit, we're trying to hold the roadmap line here. If we don't hold it, this can go on a bigger, deeper retrace here. That looks like 5 up. 5 up complete potential here on Reddit. So 5 up complete, and that would be the 1, that would be the 2, that would be the 3, that would be the 4. Went really deep for a 4, but it didn't overlap 1, and that would be the 5. Now, what happens? Typically, we bottom in the vicinity of 4, which just also happens to be the 618 retrace. So if you're aggressive on Reddit, be careful. We can easily come back and visit that 80 area. Actually going to raise my target just a little bit. 104. I might sell puts on this. We get back down in that area. Looking for that to hold, because if that's the case right there, let's move up. That retrace, if we hit that classic level, this could be the upside. Holy bananas. That's a big move. That's why it might be interesting. Dollar Tree. I thought we'd struggle to get through the gap down. That's what we're doing. Came up into the middle of it here. It's probably the 618. I'm willing to bet. Yep, right in the 618 zone. Struggling a little bit here. If we can push through, we can get that extension up here. I have a 125 sold out to December against my shares. Hood. Looks like we're going to come back to the roadmap line and possibly a little deeper. Let's see, PLTR. That looks like it wants to come back to the roadmap line. Data Dog. Almost to the target. Might have to retrace back down, retest the breakout. So this may have to come back before we can go higher. If it does come back down here and holds, that's an opportunity to pick some up, because we're likely coming on up here. Now, if it slices through that, watch out for the roadmap line on the hold. And let's look at setups today. These are set up for potential entry today. ACAD. Here's the entry. 2771 target. ACT. Here's the high, here's the low. Entry 40 target. If that can, So that's the bigger pattern, but it picked up on this little baby pattern right there with a 112 target. AMCX, that one already fired off and has a smaller go, $9 upside. Bill, here's the high, here's the low, there's the entries, 57.76. Not sure if I trust it. Delta Airlines, as I said, I'm still bullish on Delta. Didn't come down as deep as I wanted to see it, But we're holding the roadmap line, so incrementally we could see another move higher. 65.51 target. ENB needs to be the right one. What clean price action right there. This is just really clean looking. There's the entry, 51.12 target. Pretty good. I mean, this runs a little better than average. FNCO. Here's the high, here's the low. 78.35 target. Yeah, just fair numbers. There's another. That's a classic. Like that's almost picture perfect, like the class, like right there. And 37.19 targets, 36 trades, 80, 1.8. That's a pretty nice one right there. That one tends to trend pullback continuation trade. Apparel and footwear. IMCR. Here's the high, here's the low, there's the entry, 39.25. IYF. Didn't actually hit. Love. Here's the high, here's the low. That's been really flat, not sure, but 35.81. Last time worked, like it was kind of flat and then popped right up to it. MDT, Medtronic, there you go. 101 for MEOH. This one did a little baby inside the bigger one right here. That rebounds 40, 46, and 43 right there. Met. What's the poll today? Let's do a quick poll, I guess. Let's see. I'm not sure. Like, there you go. Let's look a little further out than GLD. Are we gonna get chaos next week on OPEX? For those of you still here, it looks like we lost about 10 people in the last couple minutes. So there's Met Life, looking for that 85 upside. This one's runs a little less than average on the profitable, but right in line with the profit factor. MLCO. $10.60 targets. Trimble. I started seeing commercials for Trimble. I was like, what? That didn't actually fire off on the daily chart with that high. I guess it picked up that high maybe and has a lower target around 84, but 89 would be the target I would want to see. VFH. $134 target. XLF. Here's the high, there's the low, entry, target 54.91, and Zeta. Here's the high, here's the low, there's the entry, 23 targets. Bias for the day is to watch out for this pullback. I think we're going to get a pullback back down to the 67.49. You're wondering what that is on SPX. There's the low, there's the high. That'd be 67.24.25 on SPX. If we start breaking below, say 66.87, that's a cautionary. NDX. Here's the low, here's the high. That's going to be somewhere around 24.794 for the caution flag. Start below that, can develop into something bigger. Otherwise, I think 24.991 is probably what we're going to hold on this correction. Be careful out there. The account you save may be your own. I'll be on Market Masters at 11:30. We got a special guest today. somebody I haven't met before. So we'll see how it all goes. And looks like 71% think there's going to be some chaos next week in the poll. 21 votes. Thanks for voting. Thanks for participating. Thanks for being channel members. Thanks for supporting me and my family in this endeavor. Being a guru has been a wild ride. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be on Market Masters 11:30. Bye for now.